Look here, here's a thing with all kind of pins and
Yeah, I got
stuff.
it.
Fancy thing too.
Yeah.
Okay, you are recording.
Okay, I'm
Make
ready
sure
to go.
everybody
It's
turns their mics
59,
on.
yeah. Yeah, make sure you turn your microphones on. May not, but it happens.
And Mayor,
Yes, sir.
There's a couple of things stapled to the, off that blood drive thing. Yeah. I didn't notice. Yeah, the appreciation lunch.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. I'm going to call the regular scheduled meeting of the Kingston City Council to order. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand. Mr. Brown to lead us in invocation. Ms. Humphries, lead us to the pledge of the flag, please.
Heavenly Father, once again we come to you with grateful hearts, and again we ask you to wrap your healing arms around and bless the Igo family as Jackson's still suffering after an operation today. So just be with him and do what you can for him. Be with us as we sit here as a group doing the business for the city of Kingston, and we give you praise every day. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Madam Clerk, you please call the roll.
Councilmember Brown,
Present.
Councilmember Childs,
Present.
Councilmember Griffiths, Vice Mayor Humphries,
Present.
Councilmember Stockton,
Present.
Councilmember Wright,
Present.
Mayor Neal.
Present. To hear a motion to approve the previous minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Motions are second.
Second.
There's like a couple of sets of minutes on those, I think, one of the special call meetings. So that'd be for both minutes.
That's all of them. Okay.
Are there any corrections or deletions to the minutes? Clerk, call the roll.
Who seconded that?
I think,
Mr. Childs, I'm sorry.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Childs,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries,
yes.
Councilmember Stockton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Neal.
Aye.
6 ayes.
So I have a proclamation to read, so bear with me as I read it. It's real, it's, Did you draw it? Okay. All right. Whereas chiropractors are physician level technicians. I can't read it, sorry guys. Chiropractors are physician-level healthcare providers who focus on the whole person as part on their hands, non-drug approach to plan management and health promotion. And we have special expertise in the prevention, treatment, and rehabilitation of musculoskeletal conditions and injuries. Whereas chiropractors were identified in March 2020 memo by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security as part of the essential healthcare workforce, and many have continued to serve their patients and communities since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. Whereas with many Americans working from home and attending school online since the beginning of the pandemic, the incidence of musculoskeletal conditions have grown due in part to an increase in sedentary lifestyle, poor posture, and stress. Whereas even before the pandemic, musculoskeletal conditions have been among the most commonly reported medical conditions for adults and seniors. Among them, low back pain, and a single leading cause of disability worldwide, preventing people from participating in daily and recreational activities. Whereas chiropractic care is widely recognized as one of the safest, no-drug, non-invasive approaches available for the treatment of low back pain and other musculoskeletal complaints. And whereas in addition to their expertise in spinal manipulations, chiropractors have broad diagnostic skills and have trained to recommend therapeutic and rehabilitative exercises and to provide nutritional, dietary, and lifestyle advice. Whereas chiropractors recognize that physical activity can improve symptoms, decrease disability, and improve functions as well in a range of chronic musculoskeletal conditions, in addition to reducing stress, anxiety, and enhancing sleep and quality of life. So whereas National Chiropractic Health Month 2021 serves as a reminder to to all citizens of the city of Kingston, Tennessee, that non-invasive, non-drug treatments for low back pain and other musculoskeletal conditions such as spinal manipulation and other chiropractic services combined with activity, healthy lifestyle may lessen or eliminate the need for riskier potential addictive treatments such as prescription pain medication and surgery. Now therefore, be it resolved, the Mayor of the City of Kingston do hereby proclaim October 2021 in Kingston, Tennessee National Chiropractic Health Month, and I call on all citizens to join the American Chiropractic Association as it promotes the benefits of movement, good posture, healthy living, and no drug approach to pain management, and keep the campaign moving. And if you come up with
You did it.
all right, so going to reports, we'll start with the council. Ms. Humphries, do you have anything to report?
Just on Park and Rec side, JR tells me that flag football will be starting this Sunday, and we've got more participants than we've ever had before. Plans still ongoing for the Street Fest, which is October the 23rd. Outdoor Kingston will be hosting a pup treat at Fort Paws on the 28th, which is 6 to 7:30. And we have a report on the Greenway progress, and I think David's going to give you that in a little bit.
Mr. Childs, do you have anything?
I'd like to thank REU for coming and getting with city manager and JR also on getting the lights fixed for their, I think it was tonight, wasn't it, David? They're having one of the big games. We wasn't able to get them all fixed, but we got down to 4 or 5 that the ballasters were having problems. Did they make it over today?
Yeah, we actually, Chris started working this morning. He was able to get 4 more lights put
Okay.
together, so RU came out and they got those up. So as of now, all the lights are up and running. So
All right.
we
So
appreciate
that
their
was for the
help.
turn. They worked real hard on that this week. When we was in the workshop last week, mine and JR's phone both was buzzing off the wall. Just a real special thank you to them. REU report, it should be in with the manager's report, and a big thank you to the mayor for getting the donation for the bathrooms, getting that worked out. We really appreciated that. I know you worked a lot on that.
No, several people did.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Stockton, do you have anything?
I wanted to also thank REU for coming out today and helping with putting the rest of they did half of the banners and the other half will be up tomorrow. So that was a huge help because there was no way to put them up without a bucket truck. So that was great. So thank you. That's it.
Mr. Brown, do you have anything?
911 reports in your packet, and again, I want to thank you, and I know Sandy and David on acquiring the $50,000 donation. For those of you who know how hard you worked on that, I appreciate your efforts.
Thank you. Mr. Wright?
I don't have anything.
I don't have anything else to report, so I'll turn it over to Mr. City Manager, Mr. Bowling.
Thank you, Mayor. I have just a few things here. In addition to my written report, go along with the others in thanking REU. They've been a big help to us in a few different ways this week. So definitely appreciate their help. And yeah, the soccer field, as I mentioned, is fully lit up for now. So that took some work, but we got that done, and I think they'll be very happy with that. The bond sale, I can't keep track of what emails you get, what emails I get, but want to let you know that our bond sale for the bond we're doing has been set for October the 20th at 10 o'clock. So we'll be glad to have that done. As I mentioned to you, we were awarded a AA- rating, with AAA being the highest. So that's higher than we expected, and the second to highest rating that they give. So we were very happy about that. Considering that we're new to the bond market. So I thought that was very good, and we should be ready to close on that by mid-November. So everything moving along well. there. We met, I think I sent you this in an email, but we met out at Ladd Park last week with the Department of Tourism and an engineer that they recommended to start talking about some preliminary design work that we would need out there to pursue some grant funding. So had a good meeting about that. Also talked to TWRA, and as of now, the ramp replacement is still on schedule. I've actually got a call set up. We're in the process of setting up a call next week, again with the same people to start talking a little further. There is an ARC grant. The pre-application for that comes up in December. It's normally a $500,000 grant. They think they're probably going to extend that up to about $750,000 this year. But with all of the ARPA funds, so much focus on that, they think that they may have fewer applications than normal, so we may have a good shot, but we're going to look at that, see if we might be able to pursue some grant money to do some of the work we want to do out there. But moving along, and definitely some progress. I know that's something a lot of people are interested in, and you know, our end goal is to get that 3-lane ramp replaced, get more parking, and hopefully do some other amenities. So we're working toward that, and hopefully we'll have more to report on that soon. The restrooms, as you all know, as a lot of people have talked about, I've had a lot of people mention it to me, I'm sure you have as well, about the restrooms being locked up. We have, as of today, opened those back up, and hopefully the problem is solved. We're going to continue locking them up at night, but we've got all the damage fixed, and so they're back up and open, and I know that people will be glad of that, and we appreciate their patience as we had to deal with that unfortunate incident. Brush pickup, it's in my report, but I just want to remind everyone that we'll be doing that October the 25th through November the 5th. The schedule, as I said, is in my report. It's also going to be published. It'll be in the paper, it'll be online, and that's coming up soon. So a lot of people, I'm sure, will be interested in that. And also just want to mention on the Greenway, we do hope, I talked to Tim today, they hope to have all the dirt hauled either this week or early next week, and his goal, weather permitting, is to have the slope work done within the next 2 weeks. So you know, we'll see how the weather cooperates, but starting to see a little light at the end of the tunnel on that. And I know everybody will be glad to have that project done, including Tim. So that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Does anyone have any questions for the city manager? Okay. Seeing none, we'll go into item 7. Addition of items to the meeting agenda received after the close of the deadline. There wasn't any. Number 8, unfinished business. Item A is consideration of second reading of ordinance 2109-1401, an ordinance amending the annual budget for the city of Kingston, Tennessee for the fiscal year 2021-2022. Do I hear a motion for this second reading of this ordinance?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Ms. Wright. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Childs. Mr. Wright, do you have anything?
I do not.
Mr. Childs, any
No,
questions? Council? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Childs,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries,
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Neal.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Into new business. Item A is consideration of Resolution 2110-1201, a resolution authorizing the city of Kingston to participate in the Public Entity Partners Property Conservation Matching Grant Program. I hear a motion for this resolution.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Wright, second by Ms. Humphries. Ms. Wright, do you have any questions?
What is the match on this grant, and what's the purpose?
This was one, and we didn't have this in time for the workshop. This is one we apply for every year. It's a reimbursable grant. We can apply for qualified expenditures, and they'll reimburse us up to, is it
25.
2,500, yeah.
So it's, like I said, it's just stuff that we normally spend. We just can apply and get a little of our money back. So.
Sounds good, thank you.
Anyone else? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Childs,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries,
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Neal.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Item B is consideration of the first reading of ordinance 2110-12-01, an ordinance amending the zoning map of the city of Kingston, Tennessee by rezoning tax map 058L Group F, parcel 003.1, and a portion of the adjacent road rights-of-way of Longville Road and Lewis Drive from R1 to R2. To hear a motion to adopt this on first reading.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Wright, second by Ms. Stockton. Ms. Wright?
Again, this is just one of those lots in the city of Kingston that was mistakenly left as R1 when it should have been R2, so this will just be correcting that.
Ms. Stockton, do you have anything?
I don't.
Council? All right, seeing none, call the roll on the first reading.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Childs,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries,
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Neal.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Item C is consideration of approval to surplus items as requested by Public Works. Do you hear a motion to surplus what we had in our packets?
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Childs, second, Ms. Stockton. Mr. Childs, you have anything? Ms. Stockton?
No.
Anyone else? Madam Clerk, call the roll to approve the surplus items.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Childs,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries,
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Neal.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Item D is consideration to authorize withdrawing from the TDOT Surface Transportation Program. Is there a motion to withdraw from the program?
Mayor, could I comment just a minute before you all
Yes.
do that? Just wanted to give you a little background. Of course, you all, this was part of a discussion. I hope you all saw your email today. We got revised estimates from Rogers Group and Arcadis. Well, the estimate from Rogers Group, the proposal from Arcadis. I sent those out. If you didn't get those, there was a savings on both. And I wasn't really sure how to word this on the agenda. I guess basically what we're looking for is, if you all happen to want to get out of this, that's fine. If not, then, direction for us to move forward, because we are up against a bit of a time crunch to get this under contract. So, but if you didn't get the email, check that out. Be looking for that, and you'll have copies of those proposals.
So just to clarify, the motion would be to withdraw from the program?
Yes.
Okay.
Or whatever. I mean, whatever motion somebody wants to make. I just was a little sketchy on how to word it on the
Okay.
agenda, but
What's the difference now, David? I didn't get the email. I just got off from work.
so the
Overall difference that we would have to pay.
the Arcadis proposal, which is real money. It was actually scaled back from 117,000 to 88,000. They went in and were able to trim that up a bit. Rogers Group sent us another estimate, and it was reduced as well. Want to point out that that's just an estimate. Kind of give you a ballpark idea of what it might cost. Obviously, that would have to be bid out. And when we reach that point, prices could be higher, they could be lower. So, you don't need to read too much into that other than just giving you an idea. But, the biggest thing to focus on is the Arcadis proposal, which, again, I was kind of impressed on how much they were able to trim that back. If we're going to go with this, we do need to get somebody under contract, and any engineer we use is going to have to go through the same requirements that the program. So, but that's where we are. That was reduced down to 88,000, which helps. So.
All right, then again, I'll ask, is there any consideration to authorize withdrawing from the TDOT Surface Transportation Program?
So you're asking to,
I'm asking, are we wanting to withdraw from the STP program? If we want to draw, we need a motion that says we want to. If we don't want to withdraw, I'm gonna ask one more time and it'll be dead.
so you're going to consider other motions, or just this one, or just this, what's as it's written?
This, right now, it's all we can
Okay.
have. So I'm gonna ask for consideration to authorize withdrawing from TDOT Surface Transportation Program. Is there-
Then I would move to do it, to get it on the floor so I can amend it.
Second.
I have a motion and second to, okay, a motion second, so I'm turning it over to Mr. Brown, let him wordsmith it.
I would move to amend the motion to withdraw, to go into contract with Arcadis for $88,136.
Is there a second on the,
Second.
second, okay. So let's,
And sorry if the way I worded that caused us to have to back into it, but
all right, so first we need to vote to amend the original motion. So Madam Clerk, this vote is to amend the original motion.
Just a little discussion,
Oh, yeah, we can
if
have
I may.
discussion, I'm sorry.
You know, I guess I'm the one that stirred all this up a week or two ago, saying that I thought it was way out of line, and it's done a little bit of good. We've saved $28,864 in 2 weeks from the engineer, and then again, as I spoke to David today, it's good that Rogers Group has adjusted theirs, but that's just for your information. You know, this thing may not bid for another 7 or 8 months. At that time, you know, gas just went over $3 a gallon today. Asphalt may be another $20 a ton when this bids, and it may be out of whack again. My only reason for doing this is that we know that it's got to be resurfaced. We know that it's one of the busiest places out there. It was number 1 on Tim's list. If it went for what Rogers Group said, that gives us 180-something thousand. So what you're doing, if you vote for this, you're voting to take $223,000 worth of free money to go toward paving, and if you don't, then 6 months from now we got to come up with the whole $400,000. Does that
Pretty much explained.
explain what I'm trying to do?
Yeah.
I don't like it. I still think it's too much, but I hate to turn down that much money on something that we know we've got to do. Now then, I do not have a plan or a proposal on where the extra money comes from. But I'm assuming that we will, or the city manager and Tim will have input into the specifications that the engineers will bring back to us. We don't have those yet, about how many tons, exactly how long it is, and how wide it is, and whether or not they're gonna do the curbs, and whether or not they're gonna do the milling, and whether or not they're gonna do any leveling. If you'll notice that in the re-proposed pricing from Rogers Group, part of the milling came out around the fixtures, so that they didn't have to take those out. And fixtures, I mean all of the drainage that's set. And again, you know, we didn't build that road, somebody else built it for us. And you know, the curbs probably should have been higher so that they would anticipate another 2 inches of asphalt, but they didn't. And then again, if we could get by without milling at all, especially out at the portion that we just redid and dug out ourselves, which is more than a quarter of a mile, that may be some savings, and that's something that when they get on the ground with their surveying crews and they look at it, so, you know, again, I think we've saved some money.
Anyone else? Oh, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, this will be, as Councilman Brown said, you know, this will be the first step. You know, once we get, if this passes, we get Arcadis engaged, then, you know, there'll be a lot more coming back to you all. Obviously, when we bid this out, when we award bids, you know, there'll be several steps that you guys will be involved in. So this isn't it. This is just kind of the beginning of the next phase of the project, so.
So we need to vote on the amendment that Mr. Brown put forth.
To withdraw and to go into contract with Arcadis for $88,000. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Wait, are we voting on the amendment or the original motion?
Got to do the amendment first.
Got to do the amendment
Okay.
first.
And the amendment rewrites the,
To stay in.
Right. So this is the amendment we're voting on first, and then we'll reread the motion for the next vote. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Childs,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries,
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Neal.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Now we'll vote on the amended motion, which says that we go into a contract with Arcadius for Lad Landing Boulevard. And you can call the roll on that.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Childs,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries,
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Neal.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Yeah, I think we could have wrote that up a little different on the agenda and kind of made that a little bit smoother. Last item on the agenda is consideration to authorize the city manager to solicit bids for the purchase of a bucket truck for public works. I hear a motion to put this out for bid.
Make a motion?
Is there a second?
Second.
Have a motion by Ms. Stockton, second by Ms. Humphries. Ms. Stockton, do you have anything?
I mean, there's a need, and at this point, I mean, getting the bids just lets us see. It's not voting to buy one today, but it lets us see what options we have.
Ms. Humphries, you have anything?
I agree, and I was talking to someone yesterday, actually one of the vendors that we were talking to, and they were telling me that they are having trouble even leasing a bucket truck. I know we had talked about leasing, but it sounds like that's not even a really good option right now. So at least if we put the bids out there, we'll know where we're at. Something to compare to.
Council, any discussion?
Is that to look at used certified also, David?
No, this will just be to put out solicit bids,
For
you know,
new-
for a new truck. So we'll have that from what we've seen. I mean, that's not to say that we can't look at used if we could find the right truck, if we can find one. But right now, the market is pretty thin, but at least this will kind of give us a benchmark to see, okay, here's what new ones would cost. And if we find a better option or we decide not to do anything, you know, this doesn't obligate us to anything. This is just,
When we talk, I think it's, if you actually to put in to get one now, it'd be like 2022, 2024 possibly before you could get it. Unless you find one that's already there.
yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what we get back.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Just want to make clear that this motion does not obligate this council for money.
No.
And before we buy anything, it'll come back
To this
for approval.
Yes. Madam Clerk, call the roll to solicit bids.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Childs,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries,
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Neal.
Aye.
6 ayes.
That includes the agenda for the regular meeting of the city council. This meeting's adjourned. So let's go into the regular meeting of the Kingston Beer Board. We'll call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Member Brown,
Present.
Member Childs,
Present.
Member Griffiths, Vice Chair Humphries,
Present.
Member Stockton,
Present.
Member Wright,
Present.
Chairman Neal.
Present. To hear a motion to approve the previous minutes,
Make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Childs, second by Ms. Humphries for the minutes. Since the minutes hadn't changed in a few months. We hadn't had anything come to the beer board in a while. It's kind of odd. Call the roll in the minutes, please.
Member Brown,
Yes.
Member Childs,
Yes.
Vice Chair Humphries,
Yes.
Member Stockton,
Yes.
Member Wright,
Yes.
Chairman Neal.
Aye.
6 ayes.
There's no business coming before the beer board. This meeting is adjourned. Now we'll call the regular meeting of the Kingston Water Board to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Member Brown,
Present.
Member Childs,
Present.
Member Griffiths, Vice Chair Humphries,
Present.
Member Stockton,
Present.
Member Wright,
Present.
Chairman Neal.
Present. Do I hear a motion to approve the previous minutes as written?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Wright, second by Ms. Stockton. Are there any corrections or deletions to the minutes?
No, sir.
No.
Madam Clerk, call the roll on the minutes.
Member Brown,
Yes.
Member Childs,
Yes.
Vice Chair Humphries,
Yes.
Member Stockton,
Yes.
Member Wright,
Yes.
Chairman Neal.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Are there any citizens that wish to comment before the water board tonight? Okay. Seeing none, we'll go into the utility director's report. Mr. Bowling.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have anything really specific other than my written report, but I do want to comment just a minute. We're, of course, we're still thinking and just in the beginning stages, as we talked about in our workshop, of the ARPA funds. Still getting information coming at us at a pretty quick pace, and none of it is finalized yet. So there's going to be a lot more to talk about as we go forward, but we are still internally trying to identify some potential projects as we look at that. Got a little bit more information today. We talked a little bit about the utility scorecard, basically needs assessment that TDEC and TAUD are working together on. That's just there's a draft out of that now, but we're not getting too deep into it because that could change. But probably in November, they're looking at starting the training for that. So we'll be Kevin and I will be following that closely, and that'll help a lot as we identify projects that would be approved from the utility side. Also got some preliminary language that the state money that's coming to go above and beyond our direct allocation. It looks like that money is going to go to the county, and then through some process that hadn't been determined, the county will then allocate that to the various utilities. It looks like Roane County is going to get about $8 million in additional state dollars. So we don't know yet how we get a piece of that, but the state will give some guidance. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a situation where, they can deny us, but we really don't know how that's going to look, other than the fact that it's going to go to the county and be distributed by them. So, again, a lot of information coming at us quick, and a lot of it is prefaced by the fact that nothing's finalized yet. So stay tuned, but we are in anticipation of the money. We are looking at potential projects. Another thing that has come up that y'all are probably aware of, the county commission has a committee formed. They're soliciting potential projects to partner with them for part of their funds, and they've set an October 30th deadline to have something to that committee. I reached out to the county executive today and asked if they would consider extending that with the thought that it's just way too premature at this point. We don't even have our funds. We don't have final rulings. There's just too much. We haven't had an opportunity to go through that needs assessment. So I haven't got a response, but I'm hoping that the county will ultimately consider extending that at least to the first of the year, because it's just way too soon for us to rush and try to ask for something.
That's way too quick for all the information that we keep getting on different days.
Yeah.
Something may change tomorrow with it.
So if any of you talk to your county commissioners, maybe ask that as well. But anyway, we'll have more to discuss as we move forward on that. So.
And I think that is being driven some by the county commission rather than the county mayor right at the moment.
Okay. We'll make some calls. Has anyone got anything else for Mr. Bowling? Mr. Brown.
I've got two things. Really appreciate the email that you sent out this afternoon with the Von Melton maps. Is that a current, or I didn't see a timestamp on it? I tried to look at it on the sewer portion, and if you follow those little lines, I thought we had sewer going out James Ferry Road, and maybe I just can't see it, and then from Galahar Road.
So those were started under Mr. Pinkerton.
Okay, all right.
That project was, and it just wrapped up about the time I got here.
Okay.
So, but I'm glad you mentioned that, because, as you know, we applied for a grant that to update our mapping, and still hadn't heard anything. We heard today that the state is going to use some of their ARPA funds to fully fund those grant applications. So it looks like that we'll be getting that for sure, and that's going to bring our mapping into the 21st century. So,
because if you look at what he's got, it shows Galahar Road, but it doesn't show getting to town anywhere. So
yeah.
I just thought maybe it wasn't complete.
No, those aren't the best.
And the second thing that I think that we need to instruct the utility director to write a letter to the county mayor and request funds from the county for various water, sewer needs from that money, just to have our name in the hat, so that that committee can't come back and say, well, we didn't know you all wanted any because you didn't put anything in there. Now, I've reached out to one of my county commissioners, and I haven't got the other two, but I think somebody else has reached out to another one that I didn't get. And I didn't get very good response from my county commissioner that they were interested in meeting with us. He referred me back to this committee.
Mhm.
So if that's the case and this committee is going to do it, I think we just need to make sure that we're on their list. Because again, I think it's just way, I don't know if January is even quick
I
enough
don't either.
to do it, because that's the slowest part of the bureaucracy in Washington to get the final ruling. I think there's 3 finals in it right now, so there'll be another one. But I think we just need to go ahead and ask, even though we don't know what it is.
I think that can be done.
And what we're doing is go ahead and ask for some money for the boat and tourism.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. We
Well,
probably need to add to that,
Not just water, sewer, and we just need to encompass
in
everything
tourism,
else.
because tourism was part of the ARPA funds, right?
It is, and I know we've talked about one of the things. I was on a call this morning that we're trying to get. One of the question marks we have is most everything non-water and sewer related is based on loss of revenue.
Right.
And there's a question about, yes, the county was able to show a loss of revenue, but if we're not, are we gonna be eligible for county funds for tourism? So we don't have, that's just one of many questions we don't have an answer to, because we can't show that loss of revenue that the county
Is
did,
the,
so.
when the Rhone Alliance does their, tourism, calculations of how much we brought in, is the city's portion not added to that?
It is. I think it's broke down. And
So
I
they've
think-
used our, what we have brought in their calculation to show the loss.
Yeah.
Not to say we can use our money in a tourism cause, but the county may be able to.
The county can't. I don't know. I guess the point I'm making, I don't know, and we won't know until anytime soon. But if we could use part of the county's money for that, so that's just one of the things we're going to have to get more guidance on. Obviously, if we do qualify for tourism, then to use some of that money, certainly we will. But we just don't know for a fact yet that that's going to be
Right.
the case. So.
Well, I will tell you, the commissioners that I've talked to, they have not really talked much about water and sewer projects, but they have talked about tourism. So I would hate for us to put a request forward for just water and sewer and not tourism as well.
I think we just need, to let them know that we're interested in whatever money they want to give us for whatever.
Well, yeah,
I just don't want to get anything that we have to pay back 5 years from now. so.
right.
Yeah, and
Well, we wouldn't, they would, on that portion.
And he mentioned something, for those of you who follow any type of Facebook, I'm not real big on it. I've always said I think it's the devil, but evidently I was fuming the way I read in a publication, and that started a string of, is that what you call it, a string or a strand or whatever you call it, when they get on Facebook. And Mr. Woody came on, and I asked if he was wanting to help fund some of it, and he suggested that we go to
The
another fund that they've got.
The same fund that we used to buy the parking lot downtown, to give
Sounds
for
like-
money for that.
Sounds like the county's got a lot of funds.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody got anything else for Mr. Bowman? Anything got,
Thank you.
anybody got anything else for the water board? Not, this meeting's adjourned.